All right, Shalom. First, let's start by saying all praise to Yahweh, by Shem Shai, by Shem Kakadash. Give our honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Now, this is a lesson on basically First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 8, and some precepts. You know, because you got a lot of people that despise us and try to come up against us, but in actuality, they're coming up against the Lord. You know, so since we have this understanding, it's like, we shouldn't, be getting, you going to get vexed every now and again. You shouldn't be mad at it, because they ultimately coming up against the Lord, man. So I'm going to give some examples on what happened to those who came up against the Lord, and to give the judgment on what's going to happen to those that's coming up against the Lord. Because this history, it repeats itself, man. Israel did the same thing back in the beginning with Moses, all the way up until now today. So this is First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 8. He therefore that despises not man, but the Most High. Right, so when you despise the prophets, the teachers, the elders, the brothers out there, the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity, you actually despise the Lord because, through the Spirit, we come in the name of the Lord. We come in and we giving y'all, the people, His word. So it says, who have also given unto us His Holy Spirit, right? And we know the Spirit is the word. I'll grab that. This is John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, that bringeth to life. This word gives you life. When you go into that word, quickeneth. The flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life, right? So, your flesh profiteth nothing, man. You got to go back to the Spirit and the word to figure out what you're supposed to be doing on this earth, This Hebrews chapter 10, verse 28, it says, he that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses, right? And this is the history. I'm going to get into the history because those that despise doing the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, will put to death, man. And ultimately, we can't keep everything. The scriptures say we are rehearsing the righteous acts, but you are supposed to keep what you can keep, man. And walk how you're supposed to walk according to what the word said, This is Numbers chapter 16, verse 1. And this is an example of what's going to happen to Israel. And this is an example of what's going to happen to just Israel, slacking. The other nations, they not under the law. They're going to die regardless. This is Numbers chapter 16, verse 1. It says, now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. Right, so they was jealous, man. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will shew who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. This do, take ye censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord Yahweh doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much. It says, "Be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi." And Moses said unto Korah, "Hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the Most High, the power of Israel, hath separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them? And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also." Right, man, and that's plain, man. It says, "For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord." See, going back to Thessalonians. "And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him?" Right, man. So they ultimately was coming up against the Lord, man. They was trying to seek Moses' seek, man. They weren't happy with trying to exalt themselves. The Lord give every brother a measure, so to speak. Everybody got an office, man. You can't exalt yourself over the teachers, man. Prime example, General Yohana. So it says, verse 11, "For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him?" And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, "We will not come up. It is a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us. Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up." And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, "Respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them." And Moses said unto Korah, "Be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow. And take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers. Thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer." And they took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, "Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment." And they fell upon their faces and said, "O power, the power of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation?" Right, so they was going to get wiped out. It says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the congregation, saying, Get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, "Depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins." Right? So, just like now today, brothers and sisters be having a choice on whom they gonna serve, man. It says, "So they got up from the congregation, from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram," and it's all ordained through the Spirit of the Lord, because there's a 1/3 and there's a 2/3. It says, "On every side, and Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children." And that reminds me of Hosea 4:6. "Since thou hast rejected me, I will also reject you and your children." But it says, and Moses said, "Hereby You shall know that the Lord Yahweh has sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of mine own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord hath not sent me. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord. Right, and that's what's going on nowadays with these camps out here. That's one, leaving GMS, two, don't want to come under the knowledge understanding of the truth that's coming through the GMS. You know, it says, verse 31, it says, and it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertain unto Korah, and all their goods. Right, so those that came up against Moses were put to death, man. Just like those who come up against the apostles, you know, and the brothers and the prophets are ceasing the truth and sincerity through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, going to be put to death, man. It says, they and all that pertain unto them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them. And they perished from among the congregation, and all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them. For they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. And there came out a fire from the Lord Yahweh and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. So you're not going to, when that time comes or when judgment comes, if you're not in the right spirit or got the mark from the Lord that it says in Ezekiel, you're going to be consumed. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Eleazar the son of Aaron, the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hollow. It says, the censers of these sinners against their own souls, let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar, for they offered them before the Lord. Therefore they are hallowed, and they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. And Eleazar the priest took the brazen censers wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger, which is not of the seed of Aaron, come near to offer incense before the Lord, that he be not as Korah and his company, as the Lord Yahweh said to him by the hand of Moses. Right, so I just wanted to read that story, give it an example of the history and why it's important to read the history, so people understand that you can't just come up against whom the Lord ordained, man, and put in specific spots, man. This is Proverbs chapter 13, verse 13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. Right. So, you despise the word, the truth, like all these groups out here, including not Esau. I mean, including everybody else that ain't a part of Israel, man. They're gonna be destroyed, man. The law is not for the heathens, but they're gonna be destroyed just off top. Proverbs chapter 8. This is Proverbs chapter 8, verse 36. It says, but he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. Right, and that's for these niggas out here, man. That's coming up against the prophets, the holy prophets, starting from the apostles on down. They're gonna be destroyed. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 36, it says, Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Right, and our people worshiping idols. You know, all these other doctrines and stuff, and money. Our people be worshiping that stuff rather than the Lord. So, like I said, well, like the scriptures say, like the Lord say, how about Shemar say, they're gonna be destroyed. It says, Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. That's what's going on with these prophecies, man. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. The world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. Right, man. From the nuclear missiles, which is the worst case scenario. The pestilence, which are diseases, people catching diseases that they can't get rid of, and that's tormenting them, being raped and killed, with race wars, stuff of that nature. Verse 39, it says, Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. It says the world shall mourn, the whole world from the mourn, man, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle. Talking about his chosen, his elect, the ones that's doing his work. It says, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Right. So, you're supposed to have the spirit of being ready to pick up and move, man, not getting comfortable in the society. 41, it says, He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. Right, so if you buy anything, you're gonna lose it, man, because people gonna be getting their houses ran into. You're not gonna be able to stay in the same spot when this chaos kick off. So don't even be worrying about these artifacts or whatever you be buying and stuff, man. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. Right, man. So like I said, it's gonna be all types of home invasions and everything, man. Your merchandise and everything ain't gonna be able to be sold, in that time when all this chaos and destruction and shit kick off, man. And even when they push out the RFID chip, you ain't gonna be able to sell make no profit unless you take the RFID chip. So you have to pick up and leave. You have to pick up and be a pilgrim and rotate from that city. You might have to live out in the woods or something. It says, He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. Right. I'm pretty sure you brothers understand what this means now. It says, They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. It says, And therefore they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children's captives. That's everything that's going to happen in this place, man. That's why the truth is serious. It says, For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, said the Lord. And that's talking about our people. All the other nations going to be destroyed regardless. But our people that's getting comfortable in this society, and building in society, when you're supposed to be a pilgrim, the Lord get madder and madder at them. One, because ultimately because they're not worried about the Lord. They're not gonna have the word. You got brothers that got houses and stuff. That probably work on their little houses and whatever you will and shit. But you have to have that mentality that all that stuff gonna be lost, and not to take pride in it. Not to worship it. Jake and them out here just